Hey, what's going on? Luke here. For today's video, we're going to be talking about Mitchell Pearce, and more importantly, I'm going to be talking about why Mitchell Pearce shouldn't be re-signed by the Knights. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if he gets, not sacked, but he gets heavily relegated in terms of their squad. Now, he's the current captain of the team, and there's a lot of talk going on about how he's been caught up in a bit of a sexting scandal. His whole future marriage has been ruined. His engagement, at least, has been ruined. Something along the lines of that. I'm not going to get into the details of all of that. If you want to have a look at that, you can find it online. But essentially, he's been caught up in another drama. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, Mitchell Pearce and all of his dramas. Now, there's been plenty throughout the years. Obviously, we all know about that whole dog incident and the dress girl and all that sort of stuff. The one that led to New South Wales actually winning a State of Origin series. But yeah, Mitchell Pearce is definitely a controversial figure in the NRL. And I feel like if you take away all the dramas and stuff, I feel like you look at his career and you say, yeah, he's a pretty solid player and would probably be remembered quite well. Maybe not so much a legend of the game, but he'd definitely be up there. But he's had so many troubles off the field and just dumb shit on the drink and like I said, just dumb shit that he's done. And it's really tarnished his career, I think. I feel like overall, you look at his career and I feel like he'd be valued way higher. I know I just kind of said that, but he'd be valued way higher. Roosters might have kept him, all that sort of stuff. Instead, he finds himself at the Knights, playing in a side that's kind of so-so, 50% win rate sort of thing. They're doing okay, but they're not doing great. He's the captain of the bloody club, and I think it says a lot about the Knights at this point. Now, Adam O'Brien apparently is looking to strip the captaincy of him because if you're unaware of the actual situation, apparently that's happened now. Look, he's come out and said it's a COVID thing, but he had a wedding plan, it got cancelled, and apparently he was having sort of maybe an affair with a staff member who had a boyfriend who's friends with some of the players at the Knights. So, look, first off, dumb situation in terms of getting yourself involved with someone at the club, first off. And then secondly, someone who's friends with a lot of the players that you're playing with. And you're supposed to be the captain of the club. So obviously there's going to be a bit of turmoil within the club. And I feel like it's a bad look for the Knights if that's your team captain. He's look, it's hard to sort of dive around this situation without saying he did do it or he didn't do it, because we don't really know at this point. But all the evidence seems to point that something did sort of happen, just with how the reaction has been. And there's been enough media speculation now as to what's happened. At least something has gone on that's a little bit shady. So look, once again, Mitchell Pearce involved in it. He's at the forefront of it. And this is the team captain. Now, if I'm the Knights, you're paying huge money for Mitchell Pearce. I don't think he's produced on the field. I feel like he's been quite lackluster. He was taken from the Roosters. He was brought over to lead the Knights to glory. And instead, all the Roosters have done have gone from strength to strength without him. They brought in Cooper Cronk to replace him, and that's essentially how he got the punt. They signed Cooper Cronk while having Mitchell Pearce, and I think that says a lot about Mitchell Pearce at this point. Now, at the time, I remember thinking, wow, if I'm Mitchell Pearce, I'd be super offended. I remember Trent Robinson, they said, oh, you can stay and learn with Cooper Cronk, and I thought that was an insult to Pearce. I mean, no matter what you say, Pearce at least is a first-grade standard halfback. The problem is he's not an elite halfback, and I feel like that's what the media wants him to be, and that's what he probably thinks he is, but he's not. He's definitely not that. Like, he's a very, very good player. Like, he's a good, solid player, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's a leader, and I wouldn't say he's a star player, but yeah, he's getting paid to be a star player, and he's supposed to be a star player for the Knights. You've got young guys like Kalen Ponga and that who are on big money, but you also have a guy like Mitchell Pearce on big money, and I feel like he was at the forefront. In terms of getting the ball rolling at the Knights, he was a good signing at the time. He got a big name over. Well, the Knights brought a big name over in Mitchell Pearce. Got eyes on the club. You got people around him. Some players from the Roosters. You had your Connor Watsons and Kenny Dowell ended up there. Aiden Guerra. A lot of the Roosters boys ended up there who are on the back end of their career, minus Connor Watson, but the rest of them were kind of on the back end of their career. But he brought over some star power and got the ball rolling in terms of the rebuild for the Knights. I think that was the first sort of big signing that people went, okay, Knights are being serious here. They had Kalen Ponga, but he was a youngster. He was a youngster that they signed from the Cowboys. He wasn't an unknown for sure, but he wasn't a first grader at that point. He ended up playing first grade, obviously, but he wasn't like an out-and-out superstar, whereas he went to the Knights, obviously made his name. But yeah, Mitchell Pearce was the first out-and-out sort of superstar that they brought across. But I think it's been sort of found out that Mitchell Pearce looked good in a Rooster system rather than him actually being like a really, really good player. Now, he is capable. I mean, he's played enough first grade games. I mean, at the end of his career, he'll probably end up one of the highest with one of the highest match rates of any player in the NRL. He might even get the number one position in terms of games played. But I've actually really phrased that really, really weird. Match rates? Don't know what I was going there. But just in terms of experience, Mitchell Pearce definitely has it. But just in terms of ability as well, with that experience, it doesn't really even out. You'd think he'd be a lot better than what he is, considering how much football he's actually played. But look, I don't think Mitchell Pearce is capable of leading the Knights to a premiership. Even like a top 4 finish, it would actually surprise me. And I feel like there's so many other more capable players at the Knights who to be the captain. So I'm not sure what you do with Mitchell Pearce. He's coming off contract at the end of next year. So he's going into a contract year. So he could come out and he could play outstanding. A lot of players tend to do that. But at the same time, I feel like he's got so much baggage, and there's always some sort of drama with Mitchell Pearce. Look, we haven't even gotten to the 2021 season, and there's already turmoil at the Knights in terms of their captaincy. Is he going to be captain? Is he not going to be captain? And even then, who do you pick after that? Then you've got to come up with like a last-minute replacement. Do you go with someone like Ponga who's young, or do you go with an experienced head, maybe a Clemmer, someone like that? But yeah, Mitchell Pearce, he's just, for how much money he's going to demand, because look, at the end of the day, he is a New South Wales representative, he's won premierships, he's been around for a long, long time, so he's not going to sign for peanuts. The problem is, though, who's actually going to sign Mitchell Pearce at this point? Obviously, clubs are going to be interested, but I personally, like the Bulldogs, I'm a Bulldog supporter. If the Bulldogs went out and signed Mitchell Pearce for $800,000, I'd be absolutely spewing. I'd be saying, well, what's going on there? What are you doing? He's 31 at this point. He's going to be 32 by the time his contract's up. He's definitely in the back end of his career, and I wouldn't be surprised if a situation like this one is something that's going to force him to go overseas, or at least play second fiddle at another club. Because as good as Mitchell Pearce is, he's not an actual superstar, in my opinion, in terms of ability. I know a lot of people will probably disagree. I feel like he's won a lot of people over in his Knights years as opposed to the Roosters. I feel like he definitely wasn't likeable at the Roosters. Yet, like I said, a lot of turmoil at the Roosters, and it's now gone over to the Knights now. And I don't think it's a good look for the Knights in terms of they're still kind of rebuilding. They're still trying to build themselves up. Although they're better than they were when they were the wooden spoon years, but they're still moving their way up. They've barely made the 8 since he's been there. So yeah, he definitely hasn't just all of a sudden did a dramatic improvement of the side. I feel like they can get someone who would take him in the right direction more than Mitchell Pearce. And I feel like they've got enough core players around them that they can get away with it. They've got Kurt Mann still there. And I think it says a lot about the Knights as well, the fact that they're still trying to find a partner for Mitchell Pearce. They've tried many players now. They've tried Lino, Kurt Mann, Connor Watson, a few guys like that. And yet they still haven't been able to stick with a halves partner. And you think a guy like Mitchell Pearce, he should be able to sort of have a halves partner who's, you can even chuck kind of a half reserve grader sort of guy there and probably do a decent job. But no, everything sort of revolves around the 5'8", it's a 5'8's fault that the team's not going well. Rather than Mitchell Pearce, who's your experienced head, he should be leading the ship and he should be dominating essentially, but he's not doing that. And it's been proven in the Origin arena, and it seems to be getting proven in the NRL arena now. Now look, when I thought of this video and started talking about it, I didn't want this to be a bashing of Mitchell Pearce. But at the same time, he's a guy who's been in the spotlight for many, many years. And like I said, just continue stuff up after stuff up. And I know this one is a bit of a personal one. And it's not like he's broken any laws or done anything like that. But just the fact that not only has he stuffed up his sort of marriage with it, allegedly, but it's just more so the fact that it was with a team, a person within the team, person within the club. So you've just ruined relationships with people in the club if it is true. So it's definitely a touchy subject for Mitchell Pearce, even a touchy subject for me to talk about in terms of there's no sort of definites. But if it's just everything that the media has been saying, I'm just going off what the media has been saying, that is. Look, it's not a good look for Mitchell Pearce, and it's not a good look for the Newcastle Knights. And if I'm the Knights, I'd be stripping him of the captaincy, and I'd be looking to let him go once his contract's gone. And if I was other NRL clubs, I wouldn't touch Mitchell Pearce, just because, like I said, he's got too much baggage, and for his ability, for how much money he'd want, he's just not worth it, in my opinion. But look, we know NRL clubs are stupid. Some team probably will offer him like $1 million a season to come over. I mean, who knows? Knights probably even re-sign him for that much. It's just, like I said, the NRL is weird with some contracts. You've got some players who, can't get a club. Benji Marshall, guys like that. And then you get players who just seem to be able to get club after club despite all of the stuff-ups. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point now. I've given my thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think in the comment section below? Do you think Mitchell Pearce is worth it to the Knights? Do you think it's worth it to another club? And do you think he should be the captain of the Knights? I think that's a big talking point. It's more so the captaincy that we're talking about. Because look, he's not going to get sacked, obviously, and it's not a sackable offence. I don't think he should get sacked over it. I've seen a few people calling for him to be sacked, and I think that's purely just because it's Mitchell Pearce. But in terms of what he's done, look, he's not breaking laws and doing that sort of stuff, but it's just more turmoil the Knights didn't need, especially with the season. They're looking to build into probably their best season in a long time. They just signed Tyson Frizzell. They're looking to be on the up, and then your captain goes and does this and creates more drama, more headlines that the Knights don't need. Anyways, I think that's where I'm going to end this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bells. It is quite important. At least to be notified immediately. You'll get a notification on your phone or whatever device you're using. It'll tell you that I've uploaded, and you don't have to worry about going in the subscription box or opening YouTube and just hoping my video is there. You'll be notified straight away that my video is in fact uploaded. Also, while you're at it, may as well go ahead and give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. You get Twitter, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. Snapchat is MrLuke YT. Facebook's just MrLuke. And that's all the social media done. That's all the plugs out of the way. And that's the video out of the way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.